What's up, YouTube? It's Nice here, back with another video, and simply, I'm about to hop straight into it. This book right here, I think it might be flipped when y'all see it. It's called OSHO Intuition, Knowing Beyond Logic. This book, I want to do like a full-on review of this book, but this book is great for breaking past the spiritual ego phase, like your own spiritual journey. This book has like literally opened my eyes, like a different perspective, but also it just helped me with, I guess, smoothing out as I'm like leaving this. I guess this, like, I would say this like almost like the end of the beginner stages of, you know, spiritual awakening, spiritual development. Right now, this book, I guess I'm gonna go like over it a little bit in a sense. It speaks about the three I's: instinct, intellect, and intuition. Now, I'm gonna deal with the intellect aspect today, about how it helped me with breaking past like the spiritual ego aspect, where it speaks about intellect and intellect and intelligence. So intellect is something that's like very knowledge based. Let's say knowledge and words and speaking. Let's say that's been around, or just let's say numbers, more tangible things. That's been around for, it's something that's one younger. Like I said, humans wasn't always thinking beings. They wasn't always what they say bipedal. Like when they started walking on 2 feet instead of on all 4, that's when they started to really have higher intellect and started to think more. Their brain started to grow and all that type of stuff. And so it's fairly young. And let's take like even like information in books. Information in books, even though I think books are very helpful, is very helpful to people in the present. Books are like many time traveling devices. Like you open a book from 1700s, you can realize you can read and understand things from 300 years ago. You can get a general understanding of what's going on or what has went on during that time period. Of course, you're not there in first person to experience it, but you gain some type of information about it, even though it's secondhand. If there's some type of information, and that type of information builds knowledge. And there's a quote that says like, wisdom is applied knowledge. And that's kind of connected to the intuition aspect, but the intellect is very young, it's very immature, it's very like carnal, it's very physical, it's always trying to prove something to be right. And I guess this is almost like, if you think about people trying to find the truth in life and just reality, how there's like, it's a scientific way to find it, and then it's like a mystical way to find it. And we see these with mystics in India, mystics in Tibet, Thailand. These people are finding the truth through self-realization, meditation, and going into these deep altered mind states, versus scientists that's literally cutting open the atom and just going deeper and looking in deeper into it and finding the same result. But I'm kind of, you know, moving away from the original point, but the original point is that people that are more intellectual, they need a reason to believe something. They need 1 + 2 = 3. They can't just believe that 2 + 2 = 5, even though that's not the right way, but it's the general concept is still the same. They need proof for everything. And with them needing proof for everything, it leaves zero creativity. It leaves for uniform living, uniform existence. Everything must be so set in stone and uniform that, and it's almost like a representation of control. And people are always like fighting to know something, fighting to really have, let's say, the best understanding of something on a logical sense. And it's like there's always the debate going on. People that's intellectual are always trying to debate with people and their perspectives. And later on in the book, they speak about how intuition is like instinct. Intellect is very inferior to instinct and intuition. Even though instinct has been around for millions of years, it's more physical than intellectualness. It's still physical, and like I said, it's still, let's say, gross, but it's still superior to using intellect because it's so integral inside your body, inside your heart, inside your just being. But the intuition, they speak about how it comes from off up higher, it comes from, you know, the super ego, come from just the collective consciousness, and really it needs no proving, right? And we see this with people always trying to prove a point. Like, let's take people with religion, right? Some people believe Jesus Christ is real. I don't, per se, but let's say if somebody said they saw Jesus in their dreams, I wouldn't be like, Jesus not real to them. I would be like, you know what, that's their experience. I would respect it. And maybe Jesus did come to them in their dreams. And intuitively, they know that. Intuitively, it did happen. An intellectual person, let's say they didn't believe in Jesus, let's say they was an atheist or something, they're going to try to debate them about, or let's say they was a Muslim or something, they're trying to debate them about, you know, what's the main debate about religion? They said that Jesus, I think who wasn't the messenger, or would think it was a prophet Muhammad. My bad. My bad if I'm butchering Islam. Please don't kill me in the comments. But that's just real. Like, people are always up for debating, and if you believe something so wholeheartedly, there should be zero debate about it. If you have experiences about something, you should never be trying to debate nobody about it. It's just is. Just like if somebody experienced Jesus in their dreams, they just experienced Jesus. It's not like oh, why is he there, or what was the purpose, and how can I make him come back in my dreams? It's just he showed himself to you. There's nothing more there's nothing more to that. Accept it as it is, and like I said, it's an experience, I'm about to say, and that's an experience that individual knows true to their heart. Now, somebody that's intellectualized, they almost seem like they are a skeptic. They don't believe anything. Of course, they got true facts. Let's say 1 + 1 = 2. They can put one things together, but another thing about intellect and just, I guess, concepts and things like that, it's all connected to the ego one way or another. But the ego is like form. But even to that fact, is so young. Like, let's say, for example, you go into the woods and you point at a tree. You point at this object and we call it a tree. That's the ego. That's the intellect. That's how intellect is like an order. Like, it brings order to things to a certain extent. It's trying to label things and put names to things and make sure everything is in order so it's easily understandable. But some people go overboard with it, and they become violent with their intellect. They become violent with the ways that they think. And we see this now with war and just politics and just even with just gossip. That's just a negative aspect of people into growing with their intellect. I hope I got the main point I was going to, but damn, I've been having a hella brain fall, but yeah. My bad, I guess to circle back around, but just the spiritual ego, when I was reading this book, I'm gaining an understanding of, like, people. We're speaking a lot of other things in this book, but I was just something that really struck a chord with me, and it really helped me with pushing my ego to the side. It was like, okay, well, my life is my life, my experience. What I see through my own 2 eyes is my experience, and of course, you know, everybody else's experience is true to themselves, but I can never allow myself to intellectualize life, especially in other people's, you know, experience, and try to downplay it. And I guess that's speaking more to the aspect of, you know, when people become more spiritual, their egos start to get more, you know, out of control. They believe they're the only person I know that they believe they're the chosen one. And I don't think there's nothing inherently wrong with it. I believe if you believe you're chosen, then you are. But of course, that has to have some type of humility and, you know, a level of humility and humbleness that come with that. If you really believe so, I would hope that you are living in accordance to you not being, you know, negligent of living a right life. But, you know, some people are, but the spiritual ego make you feel like, you know, you are a God, and to a certain extent you are, but people don't live like it. They want to speak like it. They want to walk the walk. I mean, they want to talk the talk, but don't want to walk the walk. And I think that's really where the main problem is, right? So this book has definitely helped me with just, I guess, subsiding the ego and